I want to preface this video by saying Paddy Pimblett is good at a bunch of things, from vlogging to podcasting and talking on the mic in press conferences. However, even that seems questionable nowadays.
Hand sanitizer, boy!
But I'm not here to judge any of that. The only message I want to convey today is that Paddy Pimblett's skills as a fighter are atrocious, and his prospects of even making it to the top of the rankings are slim, bordering on non-existent. Let me break it down. You go to any striking class in the world, what's one of the first things they teach you about your stance? Hands up, chin down, right? Yeah, Paddy doesn't do that. And I wish I was joking, but it's actually crazy how much this guy neglects his fundamentals. So much so that it allowed Jared Gordon to land the same exact combo on him throughout their fight.
Here. Oh! Chin up high. Oh! You can be comfortable here. And again, Pimblet there. I believe it was at least. Oh!
This was the fight he supposedly won. The worst part is he's not a counter striker like Wonderboy or Adesanya, who keep their hands down to draw out reactions and are able to do so by having such a high pedigree of experience in the first place. But even then, if you go to Wonderboy's YouTube channel now and look up the video about a basic fighting stance, he'll tell you to keep your hands up. The only thing that allows Paddy to keep fighting the way that he does is his chin, and we can see that when he takes massive shots but goes on to get the finish, or against Jared Gordon when he took bombs for 3 rounds straight. If I can tell you one thing about a good chin is that it only takes one fighter to come along and crack it for good. Whether through knockout power or better boxing, there's plenty of lightweights who would destroy Paddy's chin if they fought. But for now, it not only allows him to ignore the basics, it also covers his bad fight IQ. We see all of this on display in his first fight when Paddy throws a straight with no setup and his chin's in the air, and Luigi ducks under and tries to throw a left hook that Paddy catches and ties up in the clinch. Not 20 seconds have passed and Paddy throws the same thing again, but Luigi ducks under it and kicks him in his front leg that he's heavy on. This should put a red alert in Paddy's mind that the left hook is coming, or at the very least that his footing is compromised and he's standing right in front of his opponent in the danger zone. Not Paddy though, he decides to throw his own left hook while Luigi throws his. But guess what, Luigi's got his guard up and his chin down, while Paddy's chin is almost pointed to the ceiling with how high it is. So he gets hit square on the jaw, and a lot of people would hit the canvas after eating a shot like that. But let's move on to later in the fight when Paddy throws out his lead hand and it gets parried by Luigi. Paddy then goes and tries to throw a left hook. Now what he's going for here is what Pereira did to Strickland. Get him to parry the jab and then fire a lead hand hook. Problem is, Pereira programmed Strickland by constantly showing him the jab and then getting him into that rhythm, whereas Paddy's done none of that. In fact, it's hard to even call his first shot a jab or a hook. He just moves his forearm forward. So after that fails, Luigi ducks under and throws a left hook, and Paddy's response to this is by getting him into a Thai-style clinch. Now he's done something similar in the Jared Gordon fight and it's terrible. He doesn't block the punch to set the clinch up properly. He doesn't keep his elbows tucked, instead they're flared outwards, giving him less control of the clinch. And he doesn't keep his head close and tight to his opponent. This allows Luigi to land a right hook perfectly on Paddy's chin by moving backwards, and the only reason Gordon wasn't able to was because he was moving forward at the time. And I don't want to make it seem like Paddy didn't win his fight with Luigi, he did, but let me ask you this. If it was Gaethje or Chandler landing those shots, how many mistakes could Paddy afford before adjusting? I mean, what are the prospects for this guy, really? I can't even call him a can crusher. O'Malley and MVP were called this not because they were bad fighters. In fact, they had competitive fights with top tier competition. It's just that they routinely beat lower tier opponents. But when you have competitive fights with people who went 1-3 in the UFC, I'm sorry, you're not a can crusher, you're a can. What can he do better than anyone in that division? Drew Dober, Damir Smagulov, Dan Hooker, Fiziev, Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje all pieced this guy up. But I forgot he's the jiu-jitsu guy, right? Except Oliveira was 5 years younger than he is now when he got the first calf slicer ever in the UFC. And with his takedowns being stuffed and reversed by Jared Gordon, what do you think Islam Makhachev does to him? But honestly, the main reason he's a bad fighter and why I personally don't have much sympathy for him is his horrible attitude. Immediately coming off the heels of that robbery win, Paddy won't even concede that it may have been a close fight.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't close.
He refuses to admit that Jared posed a threat to him in rounds 1 or 2.
He easily won the first 2 rounds, and I think he only won the 3rd round because he held me.
And he condescendingly compliments Gordon on having a strong chin and moving forward when his fat head is the only reason he didn't get knocked out that day.
He can take a punch, lad. I hit him with some big shots and he kept coming forward.
His coaches tell him to put his chin down and his hands up, and he said outright that he refuses to listen to them.
My chin is iron. No one's ever going to tell me to change it. My coaches try and get me to put my chin down, but
at this point it's hard to be sympathetic for him, even if he does get inevitably knocked out. But worst of all is his victim mentality. When asked why he thought people would call it a close fight, this is what he said.
Because I'm me, lad. It's just because it's me. know what I mean?
People
There's
are
a lot
always gonna go
expected of
against
you.
me, yeah, there's a lot expected of me. People always love going against me.
This woe is me mindset keeps him perpetually at the level that he is because people who criticize him are always haters, and the only good people are nice people who say yes and allow him to consolidate his mistakes. But the thing about delusional people is that reality doesn't stop for them and smacks them square in the jaw when they least expect it. But until then, we're gonna have to listen to him call for fight of the night after every lackluster performance. Like and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Take care.